Facebook, come on to YouTube.
Welcome, guys. It is Thursday night, which means it is championship racing once again. And with me in the commentary box, I have Ashley. Ashley, how are you doing this evening?
Good, thanks to yourself, Dylan. I'm looking forward to another fantastic race.
Evening.
Good evening. Can you hear me?
I'm talking about a couple of race evening.
Race evening. Sorry. Yeah, we're coming live from the Mazda Raceway at Laguna Seca in the heart of the USA. A tricky track, to say the least, but I'm sure we're going to see some good competitive racing this evening.
No, 100%. Look, I'm actually quite excited about this race. This track specifically is one of my favorite tracks to drive. But while we have the guys in the background, I see, just looking at the race monitor, that they have started their qualifying. So let's just get rid of our faces, but just remember that we are now around number 3. This is rather we have had to bring some of the guys from the charting team to come and join us, and that's just because of some drivers just not able to make it this evening, so we've had to consolidate them. So we have got Marius with us, as well as Wolf Racing. Unfortunately, we lost some of the other drivers. I think that Odonis with us as well. We have seen designated drivers. Joining us on the stream, we've got Craig Thompson. How's it, Craig? Well, as well as how's it good?
I hope Craig has done some practice today, because we did some practice last night, and unfortunately he was a second slower off the pace. So Craig, I hope you got your racing grease on today, and you're able to have a much cleaner race, a much better race than last week. So I'm just watching on the stream here. We got the Horn Dog already setting a time here for 1:30.3, followed closely by Marshall. He's 4/10 off with time, also 1:30.7, and then right behind him, Moljak with a 1:30.9, followed by our new driver, SARCO Foot Fiery, with a 1:31.8. But still early days. We've got 5 minutes left on the clock, and picture at the moment. Oh, the Horn Dog doing a little bit of low flying there. Just got a bit of a glitch there, but he's now coming up to complete another quick lap. Let's see what time he can post here as he comes to the last corner, braking hard at the 200 meter mark, or 200 yard mark, should I say. And then in first gear, flat out down the straight. Crosses the line with a 1:29.4, so managed to improve his time there. And let's see if Marshall also improves his time, but not quick enough. Still 7/10 off the Horn Dog there at the moment. Let's see what Moljak can do. Unfortunately, on that lap he did not post a quicker time, so he still remains in 3rd position.
So I see that the guys are saying that they're not able to hear me on the stream, and I honestly don't understand this. Everything is working 100%. We go live, and then something jumps off. Doesn't make sense.
It's called Murphy's Law, Dylan, and I witness this every day. Technology has its mind of its own, and Well, I'll carry on commentating if the viewers can't hear you. So unfortunately we're having some technical difficulties. Dylan's not people not being able to hear Dylan. So on screen at the moment we have Maljark on another flying lap. Goes to the little kink there. This corner very tricky. You've got to be so careful there not to run wide onto the gravel, because then you're pretty much your lap is ruined. And you come to the last corner, you've got a bit of traffic in front, but that won't be too much of an issue.
So Ashley, I see that Marius is saying that he can hear me fine. I'm not sure whether it was something that I clicked. Then all of a sudden now it's coming through. Just checking a comment here from Dirkie. And Dirkie saying that the horn dog shouldn't be in Pool B anymore. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, he was very unlucky to miss out on the qualifying. I'm not sure if he was off the pace on that particular day, or if it was maybe just a case of unable to get any lap times in. And did he qualify? I don't even remember seeing him at the qualification round.
Yeah.
So it could quite.
I love the way the cars get airborne coming through the corkscrew like that.
So I think it just was one of those days where he was just slightly off the pace, and the same happened to me. I mean, I think I just qualified, and by luck, because one of the drivers pulled out. So the top qualifications for Alpha Tier were very, very close this season. So, but he has shown tremendous pace, and yes, I do agree. I think he should be definitely driving with the Alpha Tier guys.
So Marshall also in the 130.1 with Terry 130.36, followed by Maljark 130.364, so 0.003 between Maljark and Terry. Then we've got NO. Who's NO? Just go down to NO. Oh, there we go. Peter Brandt.
Peter Brandt.
Yo, sorry, Peter. Got myself a bit confused there. Then Jonaman in 6th place with Andrew Brogioni. He's in 7th with Johan VDV. Now we realize that we can just call him Johan. But you see what happens, you get so used to calling a person that specific name, and it kind of just sticks there. Colin in 9th, Brandon DeSantos, he's in 10th place with Marius in 11th place. Tyler Scott, he's in 12th. We then have, that is Flat Rabbit, France in 13th place. Dane down in 14th. Doesn't look like he's been able to get in a clean run there. And in 15th place, that's Greg Riot V83. And Craig, you're so right, the fastest doesn't always win. But if you are a second off the pace for the Alpha Tier, you are going to have a lot of explaining to do.
Sorry, Greg. He's actually right on the money. I was just teasing. Craig was pretty quick, but we noticed that it's going to basically all come down to the qualification, because on this track, especially with the higher downforce Porsches and that, once you get behind a car, there's a lot of turbulent air, and it makes it very difficult to follow in the tight sections. So you would get right to the back of me, and in the tighter section, unfortunately, the car would just understeer. So yeah, it's going to be all down to the qualifications and which guys can actually keep it on the track for the full 40 minutes.
So guys, if you are watching on the stream, feel free to drop us some messages. We are monitoring our Facebook. We see Gerard, he's given us a like. And if you are watching on Facebook or YouTube, go and give us a share. Get all your friends and family to come and join and watch the live racing action here live from SARCO Esports. Okay, so 45 seconds left of the session. So the Horn Dog, he's qualified up right in front, and we see that Donovan and that was Greg had disconnected.
Oh, that's really unfortunate.
But I do see that so Donovan disconnected, but Greg is back in the lobby. You see that he is in 15th place, so he did manage to get in a lap. So as we await for our host Tyler, he'll just push continue. Then we will go into the 2-minute holding lobby. So now the guys are getting their setups loaded, making sure that everything is the way it should be. And we're down to 14. So we have lost a driver.
I just hope that driver doesn't try to come back into the lobby again, because he might just be causing the issue.
So I'm just taking notes of all the drivers that are here, so we can monitor the pits, because we know that that has been quite an interesting part of the series. Guys changing up their pit strategies.
Looks like we do have a dodgy connection there.
Yeah, that's somebody currently jumping around the pit there.
I just want to see, I see 2 more drivers that disconnected.
Yeah, we are down to 12. That's not good. I think we might need to do a restart here, Greg, and do a rolling start. There's a massive disconnection happening there, because you can see the guys are now completely exiting out of this lobby. Whoa.
Looks like Marshall's the one that's causing the issue. Okay, I'm just confirming with the guys in the lobby now, Dylan. They are busy resetting the lobby. So they're going to retire, spectate, and then return to the lobby, and we'll have to do, I would imagine, I think they're all green on doing a rolling start.
Yep, but we must just get cracking, because well, we've got 3 drivers that are going ahead and racing with only 3 of them in the lobby, and that's Peter, Brunt, and Marius. I don't think they've got the memo.
Hey guys, can you hear me? Yeah, I think yeah.
So guys, we're just going to get the invites back in. We'll go into a rolling start. I do have... So I'm just getting the... I can hear Ashley is talking to me in the background. Ashley, were you talking to me?
Sorry, I was just telling the guys.
So actually, when are you guys going to be bringing your 4-stroke up to Johannesburg so you can come and do some real racing with us?
Yeah, unfortunately our motor is not powerful enough to run at high altitude like yours. We're only running at 233 or 30 odd horsepower motor, and I believe you guys have got like a 400cc or something.
That is correct.
Yeah, so that's not going to work, Dylan.
So maybe you need to come up and hire
I mean,
one of the carts here.
Yeah, we should do that. That's a good idea.
So I know some people that you can speak to.
No.
Well then, yeah, let's do that. We'll make...
So just remember, guys, your code coconuts.
That we are.
Just Donovan, just check that you're not clashing with anybody, please.
I think we got deep sea now.
Somebody took me as well, guys.
So a little comment there from Connor saying, come and watch Dylan break his wrist again. I can't wait to meet you, Connor.
It's too late. It's too late now, Brendan.
So Ash, just make sure that you don't have your game chat on, please, because then unfortunately we are going to be getting some feedback.
There you go, it's off now.
Ashley, do the guys know the positions they're in?
Yes, they know the positions. They're going to do a rolling start, and just to get in the correct order, I think it'll work out better.
So at least
we know from previous races how the rolling start seems to get everybody in well behaved, should I say.
What happens is that you're just aware of where the other cars are. The thing about the starts is that if you get two guys that get a bad start and two guys behind you get really good starts, what happens is that you then become 4 wide. And I think it's because of those type of scenarios where there could be a slight touch. The one guy behind you that sees the touch, he moves, and what happens, you start creating this massive concertina effect, which just doesn't end well. Whereas with a rolling start, everyone's up to pace. You're aware of who's in front of you. You're all generally going at a similar pace, and if somebody does get a good start, you can see him coming.
Absolutely. So in shots at the moment, we've got Brandon DeSantos. Just remind the viewers, he's still driving on a controller. So still doing very well. And I would love to see him on a steering wheel. I mean, this guy has immense amounts of talent. And the only disadvantage he has at the moment, he's not using the right equipment. So there we have the sink, and the guys are getting ready to get away. Just to remind the viewers, they're going to be doing a rolling start. So it's going to go around the track, warm up those tyres, get into position.
So actually on my list that I have, I only have 15 drivers, so I do seem to have missed someone.
I have 16.
No, so on the screen there's 16, but just on my list as I was taking my notes. So as they get into position, we'll just be able to confirm who's actually starting where. But I know your top 5 are Andrew Horn, Marshall, Terry, Maljacques, Peter Brandt, Johan VDV, Colin, Andrew, Brandon, Marius makes up your top 10. And then I've got Tyler, Flat Rabbit is France, Dane, Greg, and then Donovan. So I definitely have missed someone, and just skimming through the timesheet there, I still can't put my finger on who it is that is missing.
moment we have the Horn Dog, we've got Marshall, we've got Terry, Foot Fiery, Peter Brunt, Old Jock, Johan, Colin, Andrew, Marius, Brandon DeSantos, Marius. We have Tyler, Flat Rabbit, Dane, Greg, it's not Greg that you missed, and then Donovan in 16th.
I have found my culprits, so I now have 6. Connor, I'm sure you are just as good in person.
I don't know about that. I've been here a couple of times.
Okay, so Andrew Horn will now get the guy who's hasn't quite got the guys closer, very close as they approach the start-finish line. But as he goes under the bridge, that is it. They will be racing, and some of the guys taking advantage of getting a very good drive coming out of the last corner. But you can see too wide. Johan VDV has got Amal Jacques just behind him. Little touch there. I don't think that will cause any damage whatsoever. You can see both those drivers are back on the track. So Andrew taking the inside line, allowing Tyler Scott to go around the outside. Donovan looks like he's decided to break away and go straight into the pits. I was just hearing some clicking in my ear, and that looks like we have lost Ashley. So Marshall in shot, currently in 3rd place. The Horn Dog is starting to pull away, and Terry Wilfred in 2nd. He's had an absolute crack on the start there, as they now head up the hill down towards the corkscrew, and you'll see the GT3s will get themselves airborne because they do carry a little bit more speed through that section. So Marshall is starting to close up on Terry as they come through turns number 10. Now they'll head towards turn number 11. Very nice hard braking zone. Marshall a little bit wide. That's going to allow Johan Bielefeld, who's in 4th place, to just close up that gap ever so slightly.
So a good start there by the Horn Dog, but he did have a bit of advantage. Unfortunately not backing up the pack there. But that's fine, I think they will settle in now. And
see some side-by-side action there going into turn number 2. That is the Andretti hairpin. Looks like it was Greg and Andrew there. You can see the 2 drivers changing positions now. And that's down in 10th and 11th place.
Good battle going on in the midfield here. And Andrew just stuck behind Brandon at the moment, looking for a way past.
Looks like Andrew's got the drive. They're going to go side by side through here. That is extremely dangerous. Brandon managing to hold his line. And that is going through turn number 6. Now they'll head up and toward the hill. Now through the 7, and then on the brakes down turn number 8. Then a right-hander into 8A. You can see how the front wheels just lift up there as the guys go down the corkscrew. That's Brandon running a little bit wide, and Andrew, he followed him down there.
So we have somebody going into the pits, and that's Peter Brunt getting out to think of things, and maybe it's the strategy. Looks like he's repairing some damage, no, just to stop and go. We have another driver who's also going into
so
the pits.
That's Janneman. I think that's definitely a strategic maneuver there to just get out of the way. You can see not much time taken in the pit, so that was definitely just his splash and dash. And I think just to get out of the traffic there, Donovan, he's also back on the track now. So we jump to Flat Rabbit, who's France, is chasing down Marius, who's 0.3 of a second ahead of him. They head towards turn number 5. This is one of my favorite corners, is that once you turn that car in, the car just settles. You can actually accelerate quite early on that corner. Because of that camber, it definitely does help you through there. So Marshall, he's had a little off. Oh no, it was actually Terry who had off, because we've lost 2 drivers.
Yeah, I think he's actually disconnected. That's very unfortunate. I don't know what happened there, but it was him and I think it was Greg that have disconnected. So that's very unfortunate.
Behind VDV having a little look on the inside here for Marshall, as he'll be on the inside through turn number 1. And I think Johan will make that pretty easy overtake in the end. Sorry, that is not Johan. Oh, that was Colin going in a little bit hot there. You see Colin just backing off, allowing Marshall to take that place. It was Jacques that actually got that place. Going up ahead into 3rd place now in the yellow with red stripes. That is Johan VDB. So he's currently in 2nd place. So just so disappointing that for Terry. He was doing so well. He was in 2nd place. Donovan seems to have got himself a little bit of a time penalty with the red marker there on his name. So Maljak now chasing down Johan VDB. They're going into corkscrew. You can just see how this corner drops. You don't get to see the apex on turn 8A. A little bit wide there for Jacques as soon as he turned into turn number 10. It didn't quite look like he got that entry correct. You've got to take a much wider entry and try and touch that curb right on the inside.
Wonder if he was just going a little bit defensive there, because okay, no, he wasn't. Marshall wasn't anywhere near him, so maybe he's just following Johanny ahead of him and just trying to mimic what he is doing.
Yeah, the throttle control there for see Brandon. He's now decided that he needs to go and get his pits done and dusted, as well as Marius.
We have somebody almost double stack here. What if Boris forgot to
set his pit?
Yeah, that's quite strange.
Let's just jump to 5th and 6th place. I'm sure Marius will sort of figure that out. Now Marshall, he's now down into 6th place, so he's now allowed Tyler to get ahead of him. Marshall really playing with that outside runoff. I just love the way the front wheel of the car just lifts as they come down the hill there. So Maljak now starting to put a lot more pressure on. That is a much better entry through turn number 10.
I was just going to say, you must have heard you, Dylan, because...
Sorry, that's turn number 9. That's the rainy curve. You'll have a look on the inside into 11. No, he doesn't. But now you'll see that Maljak will have the inside line here through turn number 1. I just hope that Johan can see him. So a great position.
We might get a penalty for crossing that line there.
That was very well positioning, very good positioning of his car there. Jacques managed to get the drive out of the last corner, put himself on the inside for turn number 1, and then through the Andretti hairpin, Johan VDV had to just let him go. And just remember, we're watching the battle for 2nd and 3rd place, but we have the Horn Dog who's out in front all by himself and having opened a gap of 10 seconds.
Yeah, he's in a different league at the moment, so he's obviously putting a lot of practicing in. And to go back to the comment earlier, I definitely think he should be in the Alpha Tier squad very soon.
So Ashley, guess what? We are now down to 13 drivers. So once again, we have lost another driver.
That's most unfortunate.
So I must say, I'm pretty impressed with Johan. He's been able to stay on the back of Jacques. He hasn't quite let him get away as quickly as Jacques was able to catch up to him. But you see a little bit of a delay getting that power back on. And now Jacques is being able to pull away. It just jumped to 6th and 7th place there. There's very close action happening there between Andrew and France. And that's Andrew. I thought he might have got the same drive that we saw Mal Jacques having. Will you have a look to the inside here into turn number 1 and set him up for the hairpin? If I was Andrew, I want to go to the outside. Oh, late dive there for Andrew. He's overcooked the brakes there, and that's allowed France to come back and take their place while Andrew runs a little bit wide going out of turn number 2. So I think with a move like that, he's just going to have to settle himself, as I just take note of Marshall now going into the pits. We are down to 12 drivers now, Ashley, which means we have lost 4 drivers since starting this race. So I'm not seeing Brandon DeSantos, so he's disconnected now as well.
Yeah, unfortunately this lobby was riddled with problems right from the beginning. Let's hope we don't see any of these technical problems in the Alpha tier lobby this evening as we ride on board. As our camera is on Johan at the moment, as he follows Mal Jacques around here. And on that last lap, the two were pretty close, so 131.4, 441 as opposed to a 499, so very close, these two drivers. And I have been impressed, just go back to your comment, Johan's racing has come a long way recently. I mean, we watched him in the vintage series on Monday night, and he managed to pull off a win there.
Yeah, 100%.
So a podium here is looking up very possible. If you can just keep it on the track and not make any mistakes, I'm sure you'll be able to finish this race. But still 25 minutes left, and as we've seen, anything can happen. A loss of concentration, and you can see there goes Tyler. He goes slightly wide.
Turn number 6. It is crazy corners. You try and carry as much speed through there as possible.
Yeah, that corner is a very tricky one, but I have managed to find a good braking spot for myself. Let's just hope nobody takes out the braking
I
curve.
see that Andrew's starting to close up on the back of France again, and down in 7th and 6th place. So there's
right, these
Andrew
two having a good battle.
having another go, and I wonder whether he'll try and just rectify the late lunge he had. Ooh, France not getting that power on.
Just needs to tuck behind France there and try and get a little bit of a slipstream.
So now Andrew will now move to the inside, but not close enough. Will France now defend the line? Andrew
he tries
goes
another
and
late
he puts
break.
it in. And this time Andrew gets that braking point spot on, and he's able to overtake France and move himself up into 6th place.
It was a good clean overtake there, and also good on France for being aware that Andrew was there and gave him enough space there to get past.
What I wanted to say is I do think that Andrew made his intentions very, very clear from the last lap to say, France, I'm faster than you on here, I'm braking a lot later, and I'm definitely going to have a go.
Absolutely. So already he's managed to pull half a second on France, so it shows he has the pace.
And yeah, Andrew doing 2.1 seconds a lap quicker than Tyler, who's in 5th place.
That's right. I was just about to say that. So he's going to be chasing after Tyler. I mean, he's still got 23 minutes left on the clock, so it's very possible that he could catch him. And with a 6-second gap there, 5.5 at the moment, and he's pushing hard. I mean, he's brought down that gap already, down by a second within a couple of corners, and opened that gap between France and himself for 1.3 already within half a lap. Well, sorry, just over half a lap. Almost a full lap, should I say.
So interesting comment that we've got from our Scottish International, Dr. Ross Whitehead. He's saying fascinating to see what the drivers will do with the tyres, because the conditions are changing quite a bit in terms of track temperature. So Ashley, I don't know if you've got any insights for that?
I did a 20-minute run yesterday, and the tyres seem fine. I haven't really had any issues with the tyres from the previous race either at Brands Hatch, and that was a pretty much a similar sort of very tricky, loads of turns sort of track. So I'm expecting the tyres to last the full race, no problems.
Cool. So Ross, I hope that answers your question. And I see Andrew now within 4 seconds of Tyler. So Andrew definitely on a mission, as I see that Malzjak is now deciding to put himself into the pit.
Oh, that's pretty much what we'll see now during this, at this time of the race. The guys will start coming into the pits now.
So that means that
it was a very quick pit stop.
The 1 litre fuel fill up, I think that's all that is required. But I do believe that Andrew's going to be pacing himself now to catch Tyler, because Tyler hasn't pitted, Andrew hasn't pitted either, nor has Colin. We know that Colin is up now into 3rd place, so those positions could possibly change again. Johan VDB he's now been promoted up into a 2nd place, but he too would still need to pit.
Dylan, you might know, did Andrew pit early in the race?
The Horn Dog.
Sorry, Andrew Embacure.
No, I do not have a note that he has. I have been watching that quite intently. So, little running wide there for Andrew, so he would still need to pit.
So we have Tyler on the coming towards the back of Colin here, closing the gap. He was almost a second quick on that last lap. As they go through the last corner, and then he puts on the power to go down the back, the main straight. Just see that gap between him and Colin slowly disappearing. Much late on the brakes there.
I must say, I'm actually quite impressed. Donovan, he's still here, because I know that if somebody starts disconnecting, Donovan has not had some luck. Ooh, a little touch of the grass there by Malzjak in the background, and he nearly went off there, but see that he had managed to catch it. So he is still very much in the race.
A good battle starting to happen here between Colin and Tyler. Let's go through this tricky section here.
So in number 6, Tyler's going to have the run up the hill now.
Oh, that just touched slightly there. Tyler's just letting him know. Oh.
Just hold it, Tyler, hold it, Tyler, hold it, Tyler. Oh, that could have been a lot worse than that. And I think they were just touching, Tyler touched the curb, and that pulled the car off the track.
Yeah, I'm sure it's picked up some damage now, so that car's not going to be behaving itself like it should.
So I think if it was that touch, it didn't look like it was too hectic, so it might just be some aero damage. And that's the type of damage that you can go into the pits, get it done, and you possibly only lose 2 or 3 seconds, which definitely gives you that fighting chance to come back out and challenge your opponents again. So I'm having a little look to the inside, and by doing that, they've allowed Moljak to close up.
Yep.
And not only that, there's Andrew in the background, so he's catching very quickly. You can see Andrew and Moljak just about doing the same times there. 0.011 of a second. So Andrew is absolutely flying there. Jacques now going to look for an opportunity to get to past Tyler. We'll have a look to the inside here into turn number 5. No, he decides to rather back off. You can see that rear just kicking out as Tyler got that power on. Now they'll go up to turn number 6, single file here. And once again, Tyler's going to have the run on Colin. Colin move to the inside. No, Tyler! Break, break, break! Ooh, that's going to hurt. So that's now allowed Moljak to go through. Andrew's going to go around the outside, so there will be a little bit of a run of track there. Just managing to tuck himself in behind Colin. So I'm not too sure that that was Andrew just giving a couple of flashes there.
Some pretty extensive damage on the back of Colin's car.
Now France, he's now joined this action. So we still have France, Tyler, Andrew, Colin, and Johan VDV to pit. So it's definitely going to be mixing up the current positions that we have now.
Colin's making that car as wide as possible. You see he's taking a defensive line there.
Yeah, Andrew should be able to go around the outside unless he thought that Colin might have got too much speed. And they were extremely close. Colin going very defensive. He'll now move out to the outside to take that faster line and going up towards the corkscrew. Now there'll be 3 deep going into the corkscrew. So it's about getting a nice clean exit out of there. Now they'll go into turn number 9. Want to get a late entry, touch that inside curb. And there normally is an opportunity to throw it into on the inside as turn number 10, as Andrew's going to now try go around the outside. But I think what he needs to do is just be patient, get a good exit, and then win the drag race down the start finish line and set himself up for the overtake that he did on Moldrak earlier on. Just be careful there.
Background, we got France. Going a bit crazy on the track.
Andrew's going to go around the outside here. Will he have the drive? Colin nice and tight on the inside. So once again, Colin wins that little battle. They'll head into turn number 3. Colin still not giving anything up just yet.
He seriously wants to keep on that position. And he's just playing the defensive game, going.
All he's doing is just putting his car in the right areas.
There's Andrew getting a little bit impatient and forcing his way past.
So now they'll head up towards the corkscrew. This is where it can get a little bit tricky if you're not on your braking markers. But now we're looking at 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th place. Johan VDV, he now decides it's time to come into the pits. And about 30 seconds ago, I did take note that Dane came into the pits. So it's all about now between Tyler, Andrew, Colin, and when do they come into the pits to make this mandatory pit stop.
So it looks like Colin is just going to the pits now.
Joined with Tyler.
And yeah. Tyler missing his spot there, and that's going to cost him a bit of time. Just a splash and dash.
I think Tyler will be just getting some of that damage fixed, and I'm sure Colin will get the error damage fixed as well.
So Flat Rabbit now in 5th position, and behind him Johan VDV, and I'm just looking now, it looks like Johan's picked up a penalty.
So that could be going to the pits, I reckon, so that the normal 10 seconds for going into the pits too quickly, because that wasn't there before he went into the pits.
Yeah. And
so according to my records,
also,
we need to have Greg, who unfortunately has disconnected, but France needs to pit, and both Andrews need to pit.
so I also see now that Andrew Amico has also picked up a time penalty for exceeding track limits. Yeah. It's not what you want to be doing now, Andrew. You want to just keep it on the black stuff for the rest of the remaining 12 minutes.
See that in the background as Peter Brunt got onto the power, that rear just kicked off and nearly put him into the wall.
Yeah, that corner is very tricky. 90-degree. You're trying to get as much drive out there as possible. It's very easy to overdo it. See a lot of spins in the pass.
So I'm quite interested to see what the time in the pits is, because Malzdark is really closing down on the Horn Dog. So Ashley, if you could just bring up the pit there, we just want to, the timing board, just see what those time penalties are. So Johan VDB, he did get that 10-second penalty, 1 second for Donovan, and that's 2 seconds for Andrew Ambrosioni. I just wish that this page showed us the pits as well.
Be awesome, but unfortunately not.
So the Honda getting the better of Malzdark there by what's that, 0.3 of a second. And Peter Brunt, he's now coming up strong. Just making sure that Peter Brunt has pitted. So we know that Andrew Brogioni, he still needs to pit. So that's going to drop him further down the field.
Hudson is right in the back of Andrew. With almost half a second quick on that last lap. He's closing that gap pretty quickly. And also, Andrew's got that 2-second time penalty, so this is going to be interesting.
So we have 10 minutes left of this race. So Ross, just let us know if the Alpha tier is ready to go. So it looks like we will get that the qualifying started at about... Ooh, big slide there for Andrew Horn, just about catching it for the camera. I wonder if that was current and next lap invalidated.
Peter Brunt here starts his 20th lap and still following Andrew. But I wonder if he realizes that Andrew hasn't got into the pits yet, so maybe he's just riding it out, waiting for the end of the race to come and take that position from Andrew.
I was just skimming through the current times, and I'm not seeing anybody else starting to close up just yet. And it's definitely, this is where it's currently the hottest action, with Peter Brunt starting to close down on Andrew Brogioni. Johan VDV down in 6th place with Andrew and France still needing to pit. And I just say that, but I'm pretty sure that I hadn't missed them because I have been watching the pits quite closely. So here we go. There's the horn dog who now goes into the pits. Now we're watching Maljacques. 20 seconds was the difference there.
There's Maljacques going in the pits. So that's a bit strange, unless he had a drive penalty. I didn't see that.
I think that's exactly what it was, because now he's coming for his mandatory pit stop. And remember, you did say that that pit stop was really quick. So that there was a pit stop. So yes, it looked like Maljacques did have a drive-through, which is now served, and he's now going to come out in 6th position. So,
but with 7 minutes left on the clock, I don't know if Andrew Embicure has pitted yet, so it would be really interesting. If he has, well, this is a good position for him, considering where he started.
So the thing is that according to my notes, he hasn't. And I was spot on with the horn dog and France, who's currently in 4th place. I don't have him pitting either. So I don't know if the viewers at home have been watching. If you let us know, do you agree that Andrew Brogioni as well as France have to pit?
I just got a message here from Terry Wilford, angry-faced after getting disconnected, and also Greg Thompson, which I find very strange because I've looked at both of those guys' routers, so there must be some.
And there we go. There's Andrew Brogioni into the pits now.
And that will leave let Flat Rabbit through France.
But France, he still needs to pit as well, so we'll definitely keep our eye on there. But now Andrew's starting to drop down the order. So Johan VDV, he now moves up into 4th place. Maljacques into 5th. And Andrew still in the pits. He's now dropped down into 7th place. That was Janneman, who's just gone past. So Ross, to answer your question, hypothetically speaking, can you pit in the end of the formation lap? The answer to that is no, and the reason being is because we did it in our F400 karting race. Our starting drivers should have done 1 complete lap, then pitted. By doing that, what happens is you don't cross the start-finish line, so it doesn't register that you've started. So only once you do it and go past the start-finish line again, does it then register that you've started. So we essentially started that race 1 lap down.
That's not how you want to start your race.
You're telling me
not.
No. Ooh. Andrew looks a little bit tentative onto the power there.
Yeah, I reckon those tyres are but looking worse for wear now. And as the afternoon sun starts settling and the track temperature starts changing, the car does get a bit squiggly. Flat Rabbit now into the pits, yep. And that's what we were wondering.
So I've got it spot on. Every single driver is now accounted for. I'm so happy. So Maljacques is now up into 3rd place. Peter Brunt, he stays in 2nd. Then it is Janneman in 4th place with Johan in 5th. Andrew's now up into 6th. France in 7th place, and he does have Tyler Scott a little bit further behind. But that is the race there for 1st, and there's a 2nd place behind him. So no more spins by Andrew Horn, and he should be able to bring this home. As he goes flying past the back marker.
think that was Tyler that he went towards Don. That was Donovan that he went past there.
So 2.7 seconds between Andrew Horn and Maljacques. Sorry, between him and Peter Brunt. Then Maljacques in third place. Yeah. So there goes Peter Brunt going past Donovan around the outside, setting himself up for the last corner.
So Peter Brunt did actually exceptionally well to catch the horn dog in the end here. That 9-second or 10-second gap that he had in the beginning is now only dwindled down to almost 2.5 seconds.
Did you see how Peter Brunt just slid that car around turn number 2?
He did. And he made it look easy.
So Ashley, the other thing that you must just be aware of is that your Hun VDV has a 10-second penalty. Andrew has a 2-second penalty. So depending on if Andrew is able to find an additional 2 seconds on your Hun, Andrew could actually finish in 5th place ahead of him.
Absolutely.
But now we have
at the moment,
Johan fighting for 4th place. You can see just over 1 second, just under half a second now between the two of them.
Just looking at that time, so Andrew's almost 9 seconds behind Johan. But Johan's going to be caught out a bit here because he's now battling with Footfari. That's going to slow them down slightly.
So that is the battle for 4th, 5th, for 3rd, 4th and 5th. We do see Maljacques just in the horizon there every now and again when we look from the rear view of the cars. There's a little touch of the outside there for Janneman. There goes Maljacques in the background there. So he is currently in 3rd place. So the horn dog having already crossed the start-finish line with 1 minute 31 to go. They possibly will get another lap in. I was just about to say that's him off, but there was just a little bit of lag there. So Peter Brunt, 0.2 of a second quicker than the horn dog that time round. And then between, just look at those times, between Andrew, Johan, Janneman and Maljacques, 32.2, 32.4, 32.3, 32.3. Absolutely fantastic.
Exactly what we want to see. We want to see good bit of racing here. Johan unfortunately picked up that 10-second penalty.
Ooh,
but
little kick of the rear there.
Wow.
So Johan's going to go around Janneman.
So a bit of luck there for Johan. But he now needs to put the hammer down. Well, I suppose with only 1 lap to go, it's going to be almost impossible to pull that gap. But how far ahead of is he of Andrew?
So it's 10 seconds there between Andrew and Johan.
Yeah, Andrew's got that penalty as well.
So 2-second penalty there for Andrew. We saw that was a 10-second penalty for Johan. So unless Andrew finds 2 seconds, Andrew won't be able to take advantage of that penalty. And Janneman just needs to stay where he is, and he will still finish in 4th place. So the timer is now done and dusted. So the horn dog is on his 26th and final lap here.
So a good consistent drive from him with 1 or 2 mistakes here and there, but I mean on this track you can be forgiven. It's a very tricky track, especially when the tyres start going off. as he takes the final corner. Goes down the start finish, straight for the last time.
Ooh, it touches the
Touches
wall.
the wall there. A kiss of the wall there to finish the end of the race, and followed by Peter Brunt. Just under a second. Sorry, just under 2 seconds behind the horn dog there.
Miles Rock comes home, a great drive there for him, considering he had a drive-through penalty. And then had to go and do his mandatory pits, and there we see Janaman able to get himself ahead into 4th place with Johan VDV in 5th, Andrew Brogioni in 6th place. Not close enough is France to get himself out of 7th. Tyler will come home in 8th place with Colin in 9th. But we definitely have learned that Colin is able to make this little cayman very, very wide. Dane, his son-in-law, comes home in 10th, and it looks like Marshall and himself are still having an absolute banger of a fight there. But Dane will be able to cross the line ahead of him in 10th. And 11th was Marshall with Donovan down in 12th position.
So there you have it, guys. A good race there by the horn dog with his best time there for 1:30.5. And I'm just going to go back into and just ask those top 3 guys just to come and join you.
Awesome.
Dylan.
And in the meantime, I will get my invites and go into the other lobby.
Cool. Thank you, viewers. Thank you, Dylan. I'll see you on the flip side.
3, 2, 1.
So guys, we're just waiting for Andrew Horn, Peter Brunt and Miles Jacques to join us in the commentary box. But an absolute a great result there. Some really, really close racing. To Ross, if you can just make Tyler the race director, that would be much appreciated. So Jacques, if you can hear us, welcome, welcome, welcome. Just touch your bottom little camera and you should be able to come in. So we're just waiting for Peter Brandt as well. But Jacques, if you are a bit camera shy, I don't know what the Afrikaans translation with that. I'll try to go there, but I had a bit of a malfunction.
Yeah, I'm checking where I can see the camera now.
Bottom left.
No, mine only shows headset and then a speaker and a mic.
I'm presuming you're on an iPhone because Andrew and Brogioni had a very similar issue.
Okay.
So yeah, what he eventually ended up doing is just completely disconnecting it and then starting it again.
Okay,
but don't worry,
okay.
Jacques, let's start off with you. Race number 3 here at Laguna Seca. We were a little bit confused because we saw you having an absolute cracker of a pit stop, only to see you go back into the pits. Was that a little jump off the start?
Yeah, before we started, I actually put it in gear and it jumped forward, so I had to do a drive-through. So I did the drive-through and then had to come back for the pit again. Yeah.
But a third place for you. So, and we were just watching your times. The pace that you had between yourself, Peter Brunt, and Andrew Horn, they were pretty close. And did you think that you could actually catch him in the end?
Not in the end. If I didn't have a drive-through, I was willing to take a chance on Andrew. Willing to take a chance on him, but yeah, with the drive-through and the pit stop, no way that I could have actually caught up with Peter. But well done to Peter and
Yeah, it was an absolute incredible drive there from Peter. Is that he just fought his way through the field. We're not too sure where he is. Is that he hasn't quite joined us here in the chat party. But let's jump to you, Andrew. 3 wins in a row for you. We did manage to catch your spin into turn number 2. It just got a little bit out of shape on the brakes there.
Yeah, Dill, I had issues in this race. Probably a bit of a lack of practice with the world getting back to normal. Having to work a bit harder. I didn't do enough practice, and the midway through the race, the balance of the car wasn't great, and I had a spin at the corkscrew and damaged the right front. So it was oversteering one way and under the other. And yeah, that spin was me trying to compensate for the damage.
So I'm sure you were just a little bit worried just seeing how quickly Peter Brunt was catching you. And I'm sure you started watching that mirror.
Yeah, I was watching the times. I thought Jacques was going to be a problem after the pit stops. I really thought that, especially with the damage, I thought I'm in trouble here. And then Jacques went in again, and I didn't realize he had a drive-through. And then I saw Peter come out, and I thought, oi, here we go, because I know he is relentless. And yeah, I managed to control the gap and sort of compensate for the damage and get to the end.
100%. Look, you're 3 for 3. Keep going. Still 5 races to go, and anything can still happen.
Yeah, I love this Porsche, so it's awesome.
No, awesome. So, guys, thank you very much. We'll now just head back into the lobby with the Alpha tier, and let's get them qualifying. Guys, thank you very much.
Thanks, Phil.
So, guys, it is now the Alpha tier. The guys will be in the Porsche and a 911 GT3R, a little bit quicker around here than in the Cayman, but I'm sure there's still going to be absolutely fantastic racing happening here. I did see that there were 14 drivers just before we went in, which means there are only 12 races due to myself and Tyler. Tyler taking up the director's role again this evening with me. Tyler, how are you doing? So Tyler, I'm just checking in to see if you are there. So just watching Ross, our Scottish International, getting the exit of the exit onto the track a little bit wrong there, just catching the inside curve and then going a little bit wide. But just remembering that these tires are nice and cold, still got to get the heats into them before they are going to get the grip levels that you want. And I'm sure the guys will be running quite a high downforce on this track. There's not much straight line speed, lots of cornering. Specifically for myself, I would run quite a high downforce and use the the cornering to make up the time on the drivers. And again, just seeing that inside wheel just lifting up as they head down the corkscrew. So Daniel the War Machine has just joined us. Daniel, how are you doing this evening? No problem. You did miss a very interesting race. Johan VDB did finish off in 5th place. Due to a time penalty, he did finish the race in 4th, but did finish behind Yanaman in 5th place because of that time penalty. So the drivers that have joined us this evening is Gavin, Connor, Ashley, Marius, Jacques, Robert, Sly Pete, Jakes, Craig, Rudy, Theo, and Ross. Unfortunately, the racing Boets. So Lendl, Brandon, Vaughan, the 3 of them doing some maintenance on their race cars for a race this coming weekend, so not available to race here this evening. But I'm sure we'll have them back next week. So the drivers we're going to be looking out for this evening, we know that Gavin has been very quick throughout the season so far, but he just hasn't been able to get a break and convert that into a good result. Jakes has won a race, as well as Marius. Marius winning at Brands Hatch. We didn't get to chat to him because he wasn't feeling well. Rudy has been coming on quite strong. We did have the points updated, but there was a little formula issue which we will get resolved in the next day or so, so that at least by the time we come into round number 4, you'll have a better idea where all the guys are currently positioned on the driver standings. So Marius currently quickest on a 1:22.9, so just a second quicker. Ooh, as he gets that a little bit wrong into turn number 6. Apologies, turn number 5. Now this is going into turn number 6. You see Marius taking a nice tight line there, touching the curb through turn number 7. And Dirkie, ooh, you can see a little how that car just twitched as he went down. Looked like both those front wheels were airborne as he went down the corkscrew. So the time's extremely close. 1:24.0 for Dirkie, 1:24.1 for Craig, 1:24.2 for Jakes, 1:24.5 for Connor, 1:24.5 for Ashley, and 1:24.6 for Ross. So those 7 drivers, or six drivers, separated by less than a second. As we see Jakes now, he cuts into less than a 1 second difference between himself and Marius. We still need to get Gavin to put in his time there. So we pick up the action with Gavin now coming through turn number 10, number 9, now number 10. For some reason I'm just getting myself a little bit confused on where we are on the track. I'm always a corner too late. So good exit there for Gavin. Stayed off the curb, so he did get maximum traction. And he crosses the line, and that only gets him up into 10th place. So just going to check in on the Facebook page. So Greg Thompson saying, well done guys. Morris Jacob saying, good racing. Morris cheering on for Peter, and there's so many disconnections. It's so sad to see. Man, it is probably one of the worst things that can happen to a sim racer. So Jake's now closing up that gap, 23.1 versus 22.9. So 0.01 of a second, while Dirkie now gets ready to rejoin. See that he's in the pit, so he might try and have one last flyer. There's Ashley just pulling under that lap. I'm not sure whether he had somebody who was in front of him that he realized that if he keeps going at the pace, he might just catch up to them. So no, Ashley decides to rather retire to pits, and I see Dirkie, he's now remained in the pits. Oh, both Craig and Jakes are wide through turn number 6. So in shot is Roberts, he's in 8th place. He's going to want to be trying to get himself further up, but we did see some really interesting overtakes. Andrew using turn number 2 as his go-to plan. Base in shot now done in 11th place, so he's going to want to be moving himself up. As you see, all the cars are lined up in the pits. So Rudy crosses the line, doesn't improve. Marius has been able to just extend that gap between himself and Jake just a little bit, and just as we expected, Gavin has moved himself up into 3rd place. And Dirkie able to get himself within a second of Marius's qualifying time. That is the end of the qualifying session. So Marius will lead them away. Jake 2nd, Gavin 3rd, Dirkie's 4th, Robert is in 5th place. Craig still on the flyer, Ashley still on the flyer. So 25 seconds left, and Craig looks like he got a good exit there. Will he move himself ahead of Ashley? We did not see. So Gavin getting himself in 3rd place. I saw it saying Gavin left, Gavin rejoined.
How's it, Dylan?
How there, Tyler?
Alright. Sorry, man. Took me a while to get all my things sorted.
No.
I see we had a couple of disconnects there.
So we lost one driver. Don't know who that was.
I see AD is gone.
Oh, so that's Connor that we've lost. So there were only 12 drivers there, because with yourself and myself, we were at 14. So I'm just taking note of the drivers so I can track their pits. And with my 100% record from the last race, I'm feeling quite positive for this one as well. So we're just waiting for the sync up to happen, and as we saw in the Bravo tier, the guys will do one lap formation lap, and then Marius will give them the go ahead and they will go racing for the remainder of the 40 minutes. See some flashing going on there. How's it, Marius? Thank you so much for the flash, as well as Ross. He's got some disco lights going on there. Ooh. What happened there? That is so strange. It looked like Gavin got damaged and he wasn't even moving. So did you see that, Tyler? That looked like lag, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure that one out as well. Not sure what's going on there.
Because if you look at the back of Gavin's car, he doesn't even have a wing.
Yeah, and then I'm not sure what happened, but Quicksilver also. I don't know. Everyone's retiring.
I think,
let me hear what's going on the other side.
Cool. So Daniel, just to clarify something. If we were able to get your head underneath it, then it is classified as a wing. If you could put something on it, then it's a spoiler.
Please retire.
Ah, Daniel, I see what you did there. Good job.
Okay guys, I'll just restart without the qualifier. We'll just go straight into the same formation that we did before, but we'll be mixed up orders, so we'll have to sort it out ourselves.
Can you guys yeah, and can you invite Connor Alexander?
So Gavin, that was very strange, because while you were on the pits, all of a sudden your wing just fell off the car.
I saw that. Massive damage on the back.
And then as you're driving down the straight, the next thing, all of a sudden, you're like driving side by side to Dirkie, and then you go onto him, and then there he goes into the wheelies.
What I saw is the lights didn't even come on yet, and everyone just went.
Yeah, I watched you in the qualifying, and you were lagging a hell of a lot.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Maybe start your routes a quick.
Should I? You guys happy to wait? Yeah. Okay, let me do it quickly.
Can anyone get all the Connor?
Yeah, Craig will get all of him.
Craig, speak to your mini-me.
Craig's actually his mini-me.
Just have to ask his parents, because I know it's past his bedtime.
Past my bedtime too. Some motivation.
What's Connor doing?
He's on his way.
Awesome.
Alright guys, the starting positions, if you want to just take note of your current position, I took them off just before we started. Ross, you are not number one. But maybe let me just put a number next to it before I start getting myself confused.
Maybe I'll just
Good joke.
Yeah, man, it would have been so nice to have had Jacques on the stream. He wasn't able to get his camera going. So, Marius, you start off in number 1. Jakes, you're number 2. Gavin is 3. Dirkie 4. Robert 5. Craig 6. Ashley 7. Pete 9. Oh, where's 8?
I was an 8.
See.
My seat was 8.
Yeah.
Then Ross 9. You see, then why don't I have the same amount of people?
Okay, I'm back. So there's no more problems.
Cool. Okay, good. Connor, cool.
yeah, remember Connor.
Putting everything up.
Yeah. You probably turned everything off. Get back in. There he is. Problem is we put that calm on the chaps. So for him not to join, it's frustrating.
Yeah.
But Ashley was helping with MDN route, I think, because it's quick, but it's just
Change the ATN setting. But even the guys that did help connect this nice. Those are shit.
Okay, guys, we're just waiting to have Connor join us, and we will be racing. So thank you so much for your patience.
You're welcome.
Is it 5 minutes? I've nearly got to get it working. They're not gonna.
He's gonna come in.
Yeah, he's come back on racing.
Alright.
Have we sent him an invite? There we go.
There we go.
Are you in, Connor?
Okay, before we start, just make sure, Connor, you're not clashing with anyone.
He's clashing with himself.
Yep.
Give him another.
Send him an invite.
But it's late for you guys, huh? It's late, like 10 o'clock.
That's gonna be a
Connor, come in, Connor.
Background.
That's Salim, you can't join then. Maybe that was the reason why.
Yep.
Guys.
Everyone
off.
Tyler, I see you out of the Discord.
Okay. Back there.
Thank you.
Hoi.
Dylan.
Tyler.
How do you invite people? Because only half of my people on my list.
What do you mean?
So if I go to Discord to invite people to the live chat.
Yep.
I've only got 15 people on the list.
Just type @ and then it'll bring up all the people's names. So to Radacock, good luck. Thank you very much, Ray, all the way from Luxembourg. Ronald Larue, he's joined us as well. So I would believe that Ronald Larue has finished off an F1 race and is joining us here. So guys, if you have just joined us, we did have quite an interesting start of the race. Gavin's wing just decided to jump off, and there was a bit of a lag glitch which pushed Dirkie straight off the track. So the guys have just restarted. They will be getting into a formation lap, and then we'll be racing for 40 minutes once again.
Yeah. Don't forget to select your foot strategies, guys.
They won't hear us.
No, they can't hear you. Okay, everyone can hear me, am I right? Okay, Marius. So, you can, I'll come with.
So that is not the start of the race. That was Ross just getting himself away off the line. But Marius, he should be leading with Jakes. Will be in third place. Jakes in second. Gavin will be in third. Then we'll have Dirkie fourth, Robert fifth, Craig sixth, Ashley seventh, Sly Pete in eighth, Ross ninth. Theo will be in 10th place, and Rudy in 11th position. And it looks like Gavin's connection is stable because he's not flying around or doing some weird stuff, and he has been able to get past all the drivers quite safely. So in the background you can just hear Tyler just chatting to Marius, just so that we are able to back the guys up. So that is now going through turn number 10. You'll see that Marius will start slowing down and allowing all 11 of the drivers to start closing up. That's it. We are racing in the Alpha tier here at Laguna Seca, and Marius has got a great start with Dirkie having a look to the inside of Gavin. They're going to be side by side now going into turn 1. Dirkie decides to let Gavin go through, but Marius starting to pull away already between himself and Jakes, and we've got Robert in 5th place. He's put himself right up to the back of Dirkie. So we've got Maljak that's joined us as well in the commentary box. We just want to be able to give him a screen that he's able to see. So stand by there, Jacques. So extremely congested at the back. Oh my goodness, that is very tight there. Tyler, just make sure that you please keep those timings up for us on the left-hand side of the screen. So there you go, Jacques. We'll now have a little screen that you're able to see what myself and Tyler are seeing in live time. So Jakes has got Gavin right behind him. Thank you very much, Tyler. That's what we're looking for. It is Jakes in second place, Gavin third, Dirkie fourth, Robert fifth, and then Ashley sixth, Craig seventh. So you can see how congested it is. Gavin trying to have a little look on the inside. And Jacques, just making sure that you're able to hear us.
Yeah, I'm here. Nice.
Fantastic, and you can have a little look at the screen as Gavin gets a good run on Jakes. Now going up the hill, Dirkie's right behind him. So Jakes is probably going to be squeezed. Jakes decides to take that inside. He'll just have to watch Dirkie as they go down the hill. But now Jakes going up towards the corkscrew. He has lost 2 places. Robert having a look to the inside. And it looks like both Ashley and Craig managed to go around him. So Robert now down to 7th place. Look to the inside. A great move there for Ashley. Ashley is through, but now that's Craig side by side with Jakes. So Jakes are not having a good second lap there, because Jakes was in second place. He is now down into 6th. And we're not going to believe this, but there's Marius up against the wall, and I can only imagine that that's his wheel that is disconnected once again. And this has happened now 3 times in 3 races.
I don't think he's a happy camper at all.
Definitely not. So to our Thrustmaster sponsors, if we're able to help Marius out there, please let us know. Because we saw Marius was leading that race, and there he goes, his wheel disconnected, and unfortunately put him into the corner at turn number 2. Which now opens up the front for Gavin.
Okay, I see what Dirkie is in second position.
That is correct, with Ashley and Craig chasing him very, very closely.
Oof. And Ephraim, Jakes, he's moved down. Or is he also out?
So no, Jakes is down into 5th place. So Jacques, if you just touch the little stream block, you'll see that it will expand, and you'll have a bigger screen to look at. Did that work better for you?
Yeah, no, it's fine. I've just got another Rockstar member and Staffy that's biting.
Oh, I got you.
So I actually wanted to launch Team Rockstar tonight, but yeah, then they came out and didn't want to.
So we'll have to get you on the podium for next week and just do it all over again. So the battle for 1st, 2nd, 3rd and 4th is what you're seeing with the guys going through up now past turn number 6. They'll head up the hill through turn number 7 and then on the brakes. But Gavin in the year 24.9, so he's starting to get that rhythm going. Dirkie, the slowest of the top 4 drivers at the moment, down in the 125.4. Then Craig and Ashley both in the 124s. So very difficult to separate these 3 at this stage. And I'm surprised to see Jakes down doing 126s.
Wonder if he didn't have maybe damage when he went into the corkscrew.
So
picked up some.
So it didn't really look like that any of the drivers made contact through there.
I'm wondering if he actually loaded his setup, Dylan.
That's quite a possibility, as Craig rubs the rear of Ashley, and just got to be careful in what context that you are taking that.
Definitely.
So Jacques, I must say it's actually very lucky to have you racing with us once again. You did take a season off, and we just coaxed you to come and join us in the commentary box. Are you happy to be racing again?
Yeah, I must say I enjoy that GT4. It's, I think it's much more difficult to actually drive than this GT3. This GT3 is actually much easier to set up even than that GT4 to get a proper setup.
Sorry, that was Craig on the brakes, touching the curb on turn number 4. Just upset him just a little bit, but he is up and running again. I must say that I do quite like that GT4. What I like about it is you can definitely throw it into a corner a lot more aggressively than these GT3s. But you are right, these setups are a little bit trickier, and that's because you don't get the full range of setups that the GT3s offer you.
Yeah.
So we have 30 minutes left, and the gap between first down to 4th place is a mere 4 seconds, as Ashley just has a little bit of a twitch on the rear going into turn number 3. You can see the guys using as much of the track as possible, running the car outside and using the curbs there. But definitely that turn number 4 is not a place you want to be putting the car. Little touch of the dirt there for Dirkie, while Gavin starts opening up a just under a 3-second gap between this pack of 3, and that is Dirkie in 2nd place, Ashley in 3rd, and Craig in 4th position.
I've seen Dirkie when we were practicing yesterday.
There's Gavin. Gavin's he's dropped down to 4th place, so he's had an off going into turn number 10. I wonder whether he's touched any walls or got himself some damage, as him and Robert have a little coming together there. Sorry, Jacques, what were you saying about the practice?
No, the Dirkie was actually quite quick in the second half of the race when the track is getting hotter, so I don't know if tonight his pace will actually be the same than last night, but yeah, he was running quite a quick pace last night.
So this is now the new lead pack, and Dirkie in the 1st place, followed by Ashley in 3rd. In 2nd, Craig is in 3rd, and that was because we saw Gavin out on his own going into turn number 10. Just spun it around. Oh, Dirkie wide. That's gonna that's gonna slow him down. We want to see what Ashley is able to get close enough to just threaten an overtake. Oh, Craig carrying a lot of speed up the hill there. Oh, there goes Dirkie losing the rear, coming down the corkscrew. Watch out, Dirkie! There comes Jakes. Oh, that was close.
That's close.
That was close. But now we have a new leader, and that new leader is now Ashley.
I must say that this I saw like in 4 different leaders in basically 10 minutes. So.
Robert now running wide, and there we can see the confirmation coming through from Marius, saying his wheel disconnected, angry face. That is such a coconut of a situation there, Marius. We are very sorry to hear that. So now Gavin, who was our race leader, he's having a little bit of trouble there. He's now in 7th place. He's going to have an almighty battle to try and get himself up. And looking at those times, 134.2. That's 10 seconds slower than the guys in top there. That's going to be quite an almighty task for him to try and build that time back.
No, that's basically GT4 time he's running on now, so to actually quicken his pace and get back in the lead again.
Sorry, I missed that. Did Craig pit, or how did he go from 2nd to 9th?
He must have had an off, because he definitely hasn't pitted. Just trying to look at his car to see if there's any damage, but I'm not seeing any. But that means that your Ephraim is in second place now, Jacques. Yeah, you can see. Yeah, Craig did a 134.8. So that's definitely not enough time to be going into the pit. So definitely an off there, Tyler.
Yeah, I just thought maybe it could be his outlap. I'm not sure how long the outlaps in these cars would be.
He had went into the pit. So Daniel, thanks for that. Because now we see a 143.4. So there goes my perfect record of catching all the pits. So I wonder if he felt that he was being held up, being behind Dirkie and Ashley, and decided to rather to go into the pits. So that is the new race leader, Ashley, as he does what we think Gavin did earlier. And that they're going to allow Jags to go through. Here comes Dirkie, and there's Robert. Just have to be careful on the rejoin. So Ashley, don't, yo! I thought that he was going to take out Peter there. Holy cow! But I think he's made the right call. He's now gone into the pits, and that is now a new race leader. So this is now the 5th race leader that we've had in this race already, and we still have halfway to go.
Well, the way they're going, everyone should get a chance to have position number 1.
Okay, so I see that Rudy's now gone into the pits as well. So that is Theo with his customary pink mirrors on the green Mamba style colors, and he's got Gavin in the background wanting to have a look at the lap times. Well, Gavin slow coming out of turn number 5. So I'm almost wondering.
Gavin, last time I checked, this was Project Cars 2. You can't customize the colors. It's not Project Cars 3. There's a proper guy.
I said.
Sorry, simulator.
I said customary is that he is now synonymous with those pink mirrors. But yes, you are right. Yes, Daniel, we believe that the soap will be coming a little bit later on in this race. Jacques and Tyler, this question will go to you. Did the track get a little bit slippery later on in the race?
For me, the right front actually started overheating, so that's only loose grip through a couple of corners. But yeah, if you come down the main straight again, it was all fine going into turn 1 again. But yeah, it's not slippery on the rear. For me, it was still fine.
That's good to know.
Yeah, on the setup that I was running, I actually started battling with understeer towards the end of the race.
Which means that you weren't getting the grip in the front, but the rear was pushing.
Yeah, it was very strange. Didn't have enough time to practice and try all the different weather settings and everything for the race, so had to go with what I had.
But that is the one thing about real life racing, is that you can spend your whole day on Friday setting the car up. The weather can change on Saturday, and that's your whole setup out and not going to work. So you as the driver need to adapt then, right?
Yeah, it's the best you can do. So, well, it's the only thing you can do.
So we are just about halfway. This will be a 1 lap and we'll be halfway. Just love the way this car backfires as the guys are changing down those gears. But we currently have Robert in 3rd place. He's starting to close up on Dirkie. You can see in terms of the lap time. So Robert getting a little bit happy on the pedal there. Just kicking at rear, but he made up 0.6 of a second there on Dirkie, who's in 2nd place. So I do have Rudy pitting, Ashley pitting, Craig pitting, as well as Gavin having pitted. Tyler, if you could just jump to the 7th and 8th, please. I just see that we've got Ashley now starting to close up on the back of Ross. And the other thing that I've seen is that both Craig and Ashley have pitted. But Craig is essentially ahead of Ashley because of that spin that he had coming into turn number 10. So awesome to see that. I love the way the cars lift that inside wheel coming down the corkscrew. It looked like Ross was going to get a little bit sideways there, and he just managed to control it going through turn number, that is turn 10. And now we've got Theo, who's decided now's the time to go into the pits. So Theo now drops down into 8th place. And Craig 0.3 of a second quicker that time round. So it's going to be very interesting to see when Dirkie and Jakes go and do their pits, where they will come out between themselves and Craig, because Craig has 20 seconds to make up, because according to the pit schedule is that Craig is essentially our new race leader, having Ashley had that little spin and come out behind him. So I must say I'm very impressed with Robert now. He's putting in nice consistent times, and he is now taking this challenge to Dirkie, going 0.2 of a second quicker that time round, and I'm sure Dirkie's going to know that Robert's not coming. Robert now within half a second of Dirkie. Ooh, that's Dirkie a little bit wide, exiting out of turn 6. See just the kick of the rear there. So a race leader, Jakes, exits out of turn number 11. So he crosses the line to begin his 16th lap with 17 minutes left to go. And Robert decides now is the time that he goes and puts his pit in. So that's some interesting news that we're getting from Marius, is that Jakes was running the harder tires. That's why he was slow in the beginning. So Robert now, he's exiting out, and you can see that that's Ashley. Oh, Robert getting the exit of the pits wrong there, because now that's going to allow Ashley to go ahead of him. So Robert now slots in behind him. I think that if Robert had got that exit a little bit tidier, is that he might have got himself ahead of Ashley, and Ashley would have had to fight for that position. So Jakes, Dirkie and Sly Pete still to pit with 16 minutes left to go. Ooh. Pete did not look comfortable, or sorry, Ross did not look comfortable coming through there. So there we have it, Dirkie now into the pits. So there goes Craig. Craig will now go past Dirkie. So Craig now back up into third place. Ross now having gone past as well as Ashley. So Dirkie is now going to slot in behind Ashley. We just want to see where Ashley and Dirkie are. So there comes Dirkie. Just jump down to Ashley there, or even to Robert there. Okay, so Robert was not able to get himself ahead of Dirkie. Robert running just a little bit wide. So Jake's time's 1:24.4, and the next fastest person is Ross on a 1:24.8. Ross still needing to pit, and so does Sly Pete. And Jake's, he will have to come in as well. So there's the pits for Jake's. If we can just jump down to Craig. We see Craig now coming through turn number 9. They will go through turn number 10. But now, where is Jake's in the pit lane? So there's Jake's. So he's on the exit. Craig is now coming down the start-finish line. I think it's going to be very close because Craig will have the speed going down the straight. Jake's will now still be on the exit of the pits. And that is the battle for first and second place. So Jake's is just able to stay ahead of Craig. So absolutely fantastic there. Just, what's that? Over a second, 1.2 seconds between Jake's and Craig in second place. So Jake's pit strategy working absolutely perfectly there. So that was Craig running wide through turn number 6. So that's going to let Sly Pete to go through. But Sly Pete still needs to put himself. And just looking at the time, was that Ross? Apologies, Sly Pete. Yeah, that is Ross is in third.
Ross is up in third and is doing really well. Been watching his times. Also been very consistent this race. I just want to, as Ross pitted.
So I'm looking at my sheet here, and no, so I'll have to just ask Daniel. I don't suppose you've seen Ross pit, but I definitely have not seen it, because I just have Ross and Sly Pete are the only two drivers that still need to pit here, with 12 minutes left to go. So Pete. So that's Sly Pete coming out of turn number 3. So that's going to have a little bit of front damage, I'm sure. So confirmation from my right-hand man on the stream, Daniel the War Machine 1988 Morales. No, he has not seen Ross pit, so I'm pretty sure that he hasn't. So that's Jakes and Ross now having a little a go there. So I'm thinking that Jakes might have had a little bit of a mistake there. 133.2. So Jakes looks like he's run himself a little bit wide somewhere.
I wonder if those hot tires didn't cool down a bit too much in his pit stop.
You can see 126.1, so you're possibly correct there. Because you can see Jake's just missing that braking point, running himself a little bit deep. But now Ross is putting a lot of pressure. A slight Pete now goes into the pits. So on board with Ross as he chases down the second place driver. That is Jake's ahead of him. Yes, he looked pretty hesitant on the power there. I think he might just be experiencing a little bit of understeer, having been in the slipstream, as the rear has a little snap there for Jake's, which has allowed Ross to go around the outside. So Ross is now the new race leader. Ross's car looking really squirrely on the brakes there. And that is first, second and third place. We saw Craig just coming out of turn number 11 down in the background. Ooh, so you can see Ross going a little bit deep on the brakes, and so did Jake's. And that's now allowing Craig to start closing up on the two out in front. So I'm pretty sure that it is still going to be a Jake's race to win here. And that's because I'm pretty sure that Ross still needs to pit. Then we'll have a Jake's, Craig in second place, and Ashley in third as Dirkie runs wide out of turn 6. And Roberts been matching Dirkie's times and not allowing Dirkie to get away.
Yeah, we got Jake's in the front again, Dylan.
Yep. So once again the lead changes, and now Craig is a little bit closer this time round. 8 minutes to go. And Craig closing up ever closer. You can see he got a much better exit than Ross did, so that's going to get him right up behind him. Maybe just drop down there to the second place for us, Tyler, just so we can see the focus on the battle behind Jake's. There we go. So Craig is putting all sorts of pressure on the back of our Scottish international. So Ross is wide. That should allow Craig to close up the gap up the hill, because he wouldn't have been able to carry all the speed. But it does look like Jake's is starting to find his groove again. He's now back into the 125s. And the interesting thing here, Jacques, is that if Ross does pit now, with adding the 20 seconds for that stop, is that he's going to find himself possibly behind Theo.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things. If you wait too long to pit in these races, you actually lose a lot of places.
So is it better to put right on in the beginning? Oh, there was Ashley taking out some of the braking markers there.
No, I think it depends on the track.
Oh, there was Ross. I was thinking there goes Ross, but he managed to catch it. It looked like the rear was going to rotate all the way around. So that is the battle with 6 minutes to go for first, second, third and fourth. And just in the background there we did see a Dirkie who's in 5th place. And look at those times between a Dirkie and Roberts, 0.1 of a second. Those two are matching each other's times lap for lap. So the other thing I'm thinking, because I know that Ross was asking...
We just lost someone.
Have we not been 10 drivers for majority of the race? Because we had 11.
No,
and it was Marius.
There's Craig. No, something's gone wrong there with Craig. I saw it in the background. And now he's just standing on track.
No. That was the shouts of despair from Robert in the background there, coming through through Tyler's mic.
That's Donovan.
Oh, is that Donovan? Yeah. So 5 minutes left as Jakes runs wide, but so does Ross. And what I was trying to say is that Ross was asking whether he could pit at the end of the formation lap. So I'm now starting to think, did Ross pit during that formation lap? Because if he did, he's putting up an absolute fantastic fight with 4 minutes left to go. Oh, yo. So that's the mistake that Craig has been looking for, but now will Ashley be able to capitalize as well? As they go towards turn number 2, Ashley on the inside. Will Ross see him coming? Oh, Ross is losing the rear. So that's a corner cut invalidated and next lap invalidated by doing that, Ross.
Dylan, it seems like the disconnect with Craig is taking me with. So.
But we're seeing Craig.
Well, something just happened because I just got a disconnect. I just jumped to Craig and then I was gone.
So that's Ross running wide once again. So Tyler, if you do join us, because I have Jakes in first, Craig second, Ashley third, Ross in fourth, Dirkie fifth, Robert sixth, Theo's in seventh, Gavin eighth, Pete in ninth, and Rudy in 10th place. Oof, Ross getting very, very untidy once again. I think that now that the track temperature is changing, oh, there goes Ross. That's going to be into the wall, possibly.
Saved it.
He did manage to keep it off the wall, but now Dirkie will go past, and here comes Robert. So Robert will move up another place. Ross realizing he can't accelerate on the green stuff. So that's Ross now down into 6th position. Jakes is first, Craig second, Ashley in third. Oh, some more braking markers there from Ross. So guys, sorry we can't change the camera angles at the moment. Tyler's been disconnected from the lobby. We do have 2.5 minutes left to go.
Yeah, Dylan, it seems they won't allow me back in. It just says waiting. I think you need that 3 minutes.
Yeah, so I think that is the problem. So unfortunately, guys, sorry about that. 2 minutes to go. We're going to be watching the shenanigans of what Ross is doing, trying to get himself ahead of Robert again. And with Ross not wanting to go into the pits, I'm pretty sure that the rhetorical question he was asking earlier is what his strategy was. Because in real racing you can't do what he has done, but because the guys did start and had a rolling formation lap while the race was on, technically he can do what he did. So 126.0 for Jake, so 125.5 for Craig, 125.4, and Craig is really pushing to get himself ahead of Jake's 0.6 of the second, so we'll have to use the timing there to see what's happening on the race further up the field. Tyler not able to get back into the lobby. Dirkie in 4th. This is the battle now for 5th and 6th place. So Robert is wide. That's going to allow Ross to move up once again. So into turn number 5. Ross back up into 5th place, but he does have a time penalty. So if Robert does just keep himself nice and close, he should be able to take advantage. I'm also just keeping my eye on the distance between Jakes and Craig, down to 0.3 of a second, and I just wish that we would have been able to do that. So my wingman Morales has said that Ross pitted immediately after the formation lap. He's just run it back on his stream, so that put him right up in the front, and he could have got himself a podium, but that little mistake that we saw, that now puts him down in 5th place. So a very clever strategy there for us, making use of a technical advantage, but not converting that into a higher position. So this is the final lap. Jakes is ahead. He's been able to open up that gap between himself and Craig, a 0.6 of a second, and then adding a second between Craig and Ashley. Ashley in 3rd place, Dirkie in 4th, then Ross, who's currently getting all the commentary coverage right now, and that's because Tyler not able to get back into the lobby as Ross cuts the corner. That could be an additional time penalty for him. Robert in 6th with Theo in 7th, Gavin 8th. Gavin, just remember, he was leading this race earlier on. Mistake for him going into turn number 10, and he's found himself down in 8th place. Sly Pete is in 9th, and Rudy in 10th place. Did Ross do that too soon? Yes, he did. So thank you, Daniel. Yes, we've just found another job for you. That if in doubt, we have Daniel is able to quickly go back and inspect the stream and give us some of those vital questions. So Jacques, thank you very much for joining us in the commentary box. It's always a pleasure to have you. And then we see that confirmation of Connor disconnecting.
Problem, Dylan. Thanks for hosting the live streams.
Only a pleasure. So Tyler, if we can just have Ashley, Craig and Jakes up in the commentary box, please.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can. Caution, code coconuts. Can we have Ashley, Craig and Jakes, please? That is correct. And all I can say, Gavin, BMT, come on!
Oh well.
Sure, that was fun. Thank you guys.
Guys, good fun.
Well done to the winners.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely great race there between Robert and Dirkie in the closing stages there, man. Yokes were matching each other lap for lap. It was really awesome to see.
Hello. You with me? Hello.
Like a Ash. Yes, sir, that was tough, man. Hello, Craig. Press on the video camera there in the left bottom of your screen. There should be
See, I don't know if mine's gonna allow me to.
There we go. There we go.
Hey! That's what Craig.
Where did you finish?
Yeah, I sped.
Alright, guys.
Quite public.
How's it? Whoa.
About your pace.
What's going on now? Hold on. Stand by. There I am. So,
good fun though.
Probably one of the most interesting races we've seen all season, and that's because we had 6 different leaders throughout this race. Absolute crack of a race, guys. Let's start off with you, Ashley. You were one of those leaders, and a little mistake going in through turn number 10. And unfortunately, as we heard Craig very much rubbing the salt in the wound, saying, well, sorry about that, but a 3rd place for you overall.
Yeah, I'm a bit upset with myself about that, and apologies. I think it was Rudy when I came back onto the track. I didn't see him, and we nearly came together, so thank goodness he managed to avoid me. But yeah, I just kept my head down and thought, okay, I need to just push as hard as I can and see if I can catch up to the front of the pack. And then I saw Ross ahead of us, and I just couldn't catch him. And then the next thing, I saw Jags go in the pits, and then I saw Craig. Craig went off a bit on turn 9 or 6, or it's a little bit further up in the track. And then I thought, okay, here's my chance to close in. And then, yes, it was a tough last couple of laps trying to keep up with these guys. They were just too quick.
100%. And unfortunately, the last 3 minutes or so, Tyler was disconnected. So we actually couldn't follow the racing up in front. The camera got stuck on Ross. So all we're doing is just watching Craig getting closer and closer to Jake's, but not able to put enough pressure and take that first place. But happy with your 2nd place, Craig?
Yeah, I took a bit of a gamble this race. Last race I got annihilated because I changed all 4 tires. So that cost me a bit of time. And this time watching the tires, I thought I'd take a chance just on a set of fronts, which I think helped me round about the end of the race. And also to undercut Ash. We were chasing, and I thought, well, let's put some fresh rubber on and put some laps in. And I noticed the time was coming down, so I was quite happy to see him still coming down the straight. Well, coming down the pit exit when I was coming down the straight. But yeah, Jake's was the star of the show. You just can't follow as soon as you put a bit of downforce on these cars. You get within, it must be about a second, and you just struggle through the fast stuff. And then, the nose doesn't grip like it was through the rest of the track. But yeah, good fun. Yeah. Good fun. I just want to say again, Ash, where did you finish? 2 out of 3 for me so far. But yeah, well done, guys. Good fun.
So just remember, Craig, now that you've said that, there are still 5 races to go, and it looks like the tires might change.
So it'll be 1-7 by the end, I reckon.
No pressure there, Ashley. And then we'll go to Jake's. You had an absolute shock of a start, just dropping down the order, and we got some inside information there from Marius, who unfortunately his wheel disconnected once again into turn number 2, and then your pace came back. Marius said that you were on the hards, and now that the tires are coming in, is that correct?
Yes, I actually took a huge gamble, and I knew that I'm going to be slow in the start. I let the guys pass me. I knew that the tires would come in as soon as the track heats up. then I will catch up again. And my lap time showed that. And fortunately for me as well, the guys in front of me made a bit of mistakes, and I picked them one by one like that. And right at the end of the race, I could feel that the track was cooling down a bit, and the hards was a little bit of a letdown. But I managed to keep it in front of Craig. I knew he was on softs and he was faster than me, and I was just trying to keep it on the road by then. But that game will work for me, and the hards came in very well mid-race with my lap times, and I could keep up the pace there. So, yeah, but well done to Ash and Craig as well.
No, 100%.
Very nice drive.
Guys, it was an absolute cracker, and you guys were so close together that start of the race. To have 6 drivers chasing each other was absolutely incredible to see. So, yeah, thank you very much for the great show.
Perfect. Thanks, guys. Good fun.
Thank you.
Thanks, man.
Well done,
Thanks,
Jax. Well
guys.
done, Craig.
Thanks, man.
Next time.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
Cheers, bye.
So then, guys, just remember that this series is proudly brought to you by Thrustmaster, the supporter of SARCO. A big thank you to Ross for setting up the lobby, as well as to Tyler helping with the director's role, and then Ashley as well assisting me in the commentary box for the Boets here. Really, really awesome racing, and can't wait to see what happens next week. We just need to try and get Marius to not disconnect.
Yeah, I think it was a big letdown this evening. We also had some disconnects in the alpha tier, so we need to work on those and see if we can make any adjustments to improve that.
No, 100%. So, guys, thank you very much for joining us this evening. And don't forget, we will be racing once again on a Monday, where we're back in the vintage touring cars, and we hope to see you then.
Cool. Good night to everybody, and thanks for joining us.
Cool, guys.
We'll see you next week.
Thank you so much. And we will see you next week. Just got to get my little video ready.
Thanks.
So, Tyler, yes,
Thanks,
thank
Tyler.
you so much, Tyler. Really
Thanks, Tyler.
appreciate it.
Awesome. Sorry about that at the end. I'm not sure what happened. Yeah.
No worries.
No worries. Guys, thanks very much. Until we see you next week, keep racing, and thanks for watching. Yos. Stand by. No, I said stand by. Hold on.